Hey, how's it going, Nostalgics? It's Ryan from the Nostalgia Factory here, back again with another edition of Nostalgic Blast. Today's blast from the past is Pokemon Leaf Green on the Gameboy Advance. Pokemon Leaf Green was developed back in 2004 by Game Freak, the company who's made most of the Pokemon games up to this point, as well as the original games that this game was based off of. Pokemon Leaf Green has withheld the test of time throughout many gamers as being a great remake of the original black and white games made back in 1996, so therefore this is the game that we're going to be tackling today, a remake of the original Pokemon games. And for those of you who I know some people think that the remakes aren't exactly considered nostalgic, but they are for a lot of people as they still are old classic games, and there are a lot of people, especially around my age, that grew up since the 90s that still remember this game. Now, today's edition of Nostalgic Blast can be a bit different, guys, as today, Nostalgics, I'm teaming with my friend Toxisoris here on YouTube, who is also not only a great friend here, but he's also really into this game as much as I am. So therefore, after my review, you guys will be able to see his thoughts on the game as well. Now, one thing this game has straight off the bat, going over the good things first, and then we'll get into the not-so-great things afterwards. But one of the great things about this game is the graphics of this game are so beautiful for 2004 standards on the GBA. Considering how it is a direct remake of the original Pokemon games, this game looks so beautiful with the different environments, with the different sprites for the Pokemon, with the different realistic sound effects for some of them that we all know today from the games. It's just really a beautiful game, and not only considering it being a Pokemon game, but a remake from 2004, and also it being a Game Boy Advance game, it is very, very impressive with its visuals. The music in this game is so elegant. It has the same great vibe, same great theme, same great classic tunes we all know today. Really great remix versions of the original game, and the Lavender Town theme by far is one of the most memorable from the game. Considering how when they remixed it and remade it for this game, the original sounded creepy. This new version sounds way creepier, giving it a really great aesthetic for a town where Pokemon have died and they're buried in a giant tower. So, yeah. But overall, the music in this game is great. The environments are luscious with detail, and the music just helps add to that. So, the music goes really well with the visuals. Really great. As far as the story goes, besides the great visuals and music, there isn't really much to write home about with it either. It's still the classic Pokemon formula we know and love today, beating 8 gym leaders, going and battling against your rival numerous times, going and beating the Elite Four and becoming the champion, catching all the Pokemon in the game, all 150 in this case. So, it's really not that different, but it adds a really great level of originality, considering how not only is this an original classic Pokemon game, but it's a remake of the original, so you're still getting that original experience, just with great updated graphics and music. And the characterization in this game, for it being a GBA game, there's no real level of character in this game as far as like the actual characters go, like your rival, Professor Oak, or the gym leaders. But it's really cool seeing the limited dialogue that they have, having the unique personalities, even fighting against the trainers in this game that really have no real place other than to battle you. It still has its level of charm and personality that Pokemon's always had, and this game just shows how much greater originality it had back when the original formula was made. One great addition to this game as well, besides the intriguing story and the classic formula that Pokemon's always been, there's some extra content in this game that wasn't in the originals, such as going to the Sevi Islands after you beat the main campaign, and whatnot. You can go and battle Team Rocket, finally foil their plans, go and gather some gems, go and actually recruit Lorelei back to the Elite Four. So it's a little cool side story there with Lorelei, one of the Elite Four members. Then you can go back and re-challenge the Elite Four afterwards, and you can go and battle against some harder Pokemon that they have, higher levels, new Pokemon. So not only do they have some great additional content in the game with the beautiful visuals and music, but they'd also add some replay value, going back and facing the Elite Four and whatnot. And overall, this game, for what it does right, which is, for the most part, everything, it's great. Besides the good portions of this game, there's only a few negative parts that I can really think of, and they're really nitpicks when it comes down to it. Pokemon Leaf Green is, by all accounts, a really amazing remake of the original Pokemon games with all the things that makes the series what it is today. It's just amazing. However, one of the minor critiques that I know about this game is, this game was once again released alongside Fire Red, and as I teased earlier, Fire Red has its own exclusive set of Pokemon, about 10 Pokemon if you want to get picky. This game has the exact same thing. Now, back in the day before, we had technology, better technology, Wi-Fi and all that, the DS, you had to have a connector cable where you had to connect 2 Game Boy Advances to trade. That's the only way that you were able to completely fulfill the Pokedex. Now, since these games have 10 different Pokemon in there, I know Nintendo was probably encouraging people to go and, buy different copies of the game to fill up the Pokedex and trade with their friends. But it's just a little bit of a minor inconvenience, especially from back then. Nowadays, it doesn't really matter too much, but for what it was back in the day, it was a bit difficult fulfilling the Pokedex and filling everything up, and it just was a pain to try to get all the data when you had to physically link up 2 Game Boys and trade and go through all this stuff and grind and try to catch all these different Pokemon. So really, when you think about it, it's not a big deal whatsoever, especially considering today's technology and, you know, all the advances that we have, and considering this game is from 2004, again, not a big issue, and it is a staple of the Pokemon series. But honestly, guys, with this game, that's the only real criticism that I have, filling up the Pokedex, how much harder it had to be back in the day, and, you know, how difficult it might be if you just want to continually go old school on it. But overall, guys, there is nothing I really have to say bad about this game. This game is a great original Pokemon game, a great remake of the originals, beautiful visuals, beautiful music, great gameplay, classic Pokemon formula, and overall, it's just a really amazing game. So overall, if you have not played this game, in my opinion, you definitely need to go and check it out and see what all the hype is about from back in the day, and overall, it's great. So, with that portion of my review out of the way, let's get into Toxisoris' review and see what he has to say.
Oh, hey. Didn't notice you guys there. Wesley from Toxisoris here. I was invited on the show today to help with a review of Pokemon Leaf Green. Now, I'm sure a lot of you know about this because it's Pokemon, you know? Everybody knows about Pokemon, and everybody seems to love it, at least the older games. So, now, this game, I can never not play Pokemon. That's kind of my thing. My favorite one's Soul Silver, 2nd gen, but today we're talking about Leaf Green. So, Leaf Green, it came out with the 3rd generation of Pokemon, so Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald. And Leaf Green is a remake. Initially, if you don't know this, there was the Pokemon Red and Blue, and then Leaf Green was released with the Fire Red when they did the remake. So, now, I'm going to touch on some aspects of the game that I really liked and some stuff that could have been better. I don't know. So, first off, right off the bat, graphics, they've revamped them from the first one. And I think it worked really well with it because now you get the colors better, you get the sprites better. But now, gameplay mechanic-wise, they added the running shoes. Now, I don't know if you've played the original Pokemon, but I've recently tried playing Pokemon Blue again. And whew, boy, without those running shoes, it is annoying. You can't map the bike to the select button, so you have to go through the menu every single time if you want to get the bike in the old ones. In this one, you can map items to the select button. You have the running shoes, and then on top of that, when you beat the game, you can access the National Pokedex and get 2nd and 3rd generation of Pokemon. So, more Pokemon, more features, just better in general. Now, this game takes place in Kanto, as you'll know. So, the game, the story-wise, same as it was before. You're in Kanto and you meet Professor Oak, and he gives you your starter Pokemon. You get to pick from the Fire Pokemon Charmander, the Grass Pokemon Bulbasaur, or the Water Pokemon Squirtle. And you just go on your journey. You gotta defeat all of the gym leaders and fill up the Pokedex as much as you can. The Pokedex is more of an optional quest. You don't necessarily have to do it. The main thing to beat the game is to defeat the gym leaders and fight the Elite Four, and then defeat Team Rocket. Now, Team Rocket are the main bad guys, and so the story, basically what you'd expect, you get your Pokemon, you level them up, make them stronger. People would say that it gets kind of monotonous just fighting and running through places to get out and all that, but I disagree. Like, this game has replay value in that you can change your party, you can change the moves in your party. Just there's so much that you could change. Starting out, there's 151 Pokemon, so you can interchange your team. It's got replay value, and that's really good to me. That's why I replay it so much. And so, Leaf Green, I never actually played Leaf Green. I always had Fire Red, but they're really similar apart from they did do exclusives per game, so that they're trying to encourage trading between people, which Nintendo, honestly, it's a good idea to get people to get out there, make friends, and like trade with each other, because that's a really big aspect of Pokemon that they really want to incorporate. And so that's a good thing that they did, but it does kind of encourage people to just get 2 of the game, which I guess increases sales, so it's a win-win for them in my opinion. It's a remake, but you don't get to go to another region, except I think you get the Indigo Islands that they added to this one. I don't remember if those are in the originals, but you do get those in this one. And so that really helps. It's worth playing if you like RPG, if you like adventure games, and if you've never played Pokemon before, there's a reason that people love it. Yeah, you've got Nuzlocke challenges that you can do for the game where you catch the first 6 Pokemon and you use those to beat the game with. There's type challenges where you pretend you're a gym leader and you just take a type. There's so many ways to play this game, and so there's no reason to not play it. And the only issues, I guess, really are when you are going through a cave or whatever. You run into Zubats every 5 seconds, and that maybe they could change the encounter rate for Zubats or whatever. Really, especially in caves. And so that's one of the only really annoyances to this game to me. But I would highly recommend that you guys check it out if you haven't already. It's a really fun game, and remake-wise, it's worth it. It's better than the originals, in my opinion. But anyway, so that's been Wesley from Toxisoris. I appreciate you having me on, and hopefully I can see you guys in the future. Make sure you guys leave a like and subscribe on this video, and maybe I'll come back. Bye.
And that's going to do it for today's edition of Nostalgic Blast. Hopefully you nostalgics did enjoy today's episode. Let us know what you thought about Pokemon Leaf Green in this review in the comment section down below, as always. And big thanks to Toxisource for being on the channel, dude. Really appreciate it. You're an awesome guy. Hope to have you again sometime on the channel. And if you guys want to go check his content out for yourselves, which I do highly recommend, go and check out his channel, link in the description down below, and show him some support. As well as show some support to my friend Reject, who again made the amazing art for the thumbnail of this video. So big thanks to him as well. And if you guys did enjoy today's video, be sure to give it a big old like and subscribe to the channel if you're new and you want to catch our future gaming stuff coming your way as always. Once again, comment down below your thoughts and feelings on the game and the review. Until next time, Nostalgics, this has been Ryan from the Nostalgia Factor saying, keep on gaming.